This is skill 8, simplifying expressions with exponents, but this is just the introduction to skill 8. It's not the actual skill itself. I'll do this in multiple parts. So this particular one is basically a review of exponent rules that you learned in Algebra Foundations. So just a reminder, anything to the 0 power is 1. It cancels whatever the base is out. Let's talk about that for a minute, actually. If I do x to the 3rd, for example, the big number in the bottom is called the base. The little number up at the top is the power or the exponent, and I usually just write exponent. So you'll see me talking about base and exponent. You need to know which one's which. So anything to the 0 power is 1, canceled out. We learned that in Foundations. Anything to the 1st power is just itself. This is saying there's 1x. It's the same as just writing x. So the important part to that is anytime you have an expression and there is a variable without an exponent, you can put a 1 there if you need to in order to do the math. So that's actually an important note backwards, that x by itself is actually x to the 1st power. Okay, here, x to the 2nd times x to the 3rd. Short story, keep the base the same. The base is x. If the base was 2, keep it 2, whatever. And the bases have to be the same to do this. And add the exponents. So we're going to write down here, then work, 2 plus 3. So it's x to the 5th power. We make you show like basically this amount. Very minimal amount of work, but we do ask you to show that. Back in Foundations, we might have learned x to the 2nd means x times x. This is times x to the 3rd means x times x times x. Well, I've now multiplied 5x's, x to the 5th. Shortcut, add the exponents. We don't make you write all that out. We just make you write this part. So we are actually being generous there, so don't complain about writing that much work. If it's a power raised to another power, you see how you only have one base here. Again, keep the base the same, but now you're multiplying the exponents. So all you have to do is write down 4 times 5, and I'm happy. 4 times 5 equals 20, so that's x to the 20th. Again, what we could make you write is x, don't write this, x to the 4th is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this means write that 5 times. So if you write that out 5 times, you can now see that there are 5 sets of 4x's, which makes 20. Again, don't make you write that. I let you just write 4 times 5. So please actually do that. And that's not all going to erase, but good enough. When you're dividing, it's basically like you're canceling things out. This is the one where it's really important. You're going to subtract your exponents. Make sure you do top minus bottom. So this would be 6 minus 2. So keep the base the same, x to the 4th. Again, what I don't make you show me is x to the 6 would be 3, 4, 5, 6. X to the 2nd would be x2, and you can cross off 2, leaving you with x to the 4th. So the shortcut is that you can simply subtract your exponents. And we're not going to make you write that. Anytime you have a negative exponent, I think you guys learned this pretty well. It basically means do the opposite. So instead of multiplying by x 3 times, the opposite is dividing by x 3 times. Long story short, you're going to divide by x to the 3rd. And then because there's nothing on top, you just put a 1 over it as a placeholder. So you move it to the bottom. It does become positive. We joke about sending it. It's got a negative attitude, so we send it to the basement to become positive. But either way, You want to make sure your final answer has one positive exponent.